feel free to dig in, eat. We still have about 2 or 3 minutes. We have some online viewers, so I just want to make sure we start right at 12 because that's when our lively goes on. So I don't want to have them miss our little welcome portion.
When I hold you close, I'm home, and I never wanna let you go, 'cause you're the only one I love, my heart and soul. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey,
Okay, so if you guys haven't already, please go ahead and get, your lunch. We have Tuscan chicken sandwiches and some infused water. And we're going to get started here in about a minute or so.
my heart and soul. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey,
And if you guys have anybody inquiring about the online connectivity, it is mesacc.edu/live, and they'll be automatically connected to the YouTube channel, and so that should be able to connect them.
'cause you're the only one I love, my heart and soul. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh.
Okay, so we're gonna get started. I hope everybody online can hear us. We're gonna get started with our welcome. So, Yat A Arnold Soshik although she didn't she Margaret Talia White Inisha, Twitter cheating Nishla, Sandra Kenna Bashichin, although Hanagani Ada Shiche, although Tutsuni Ada Chanela. Music. So, on behalf of the American Indian Institute and the Intertribal Student Organization, we are honored to welcome you all to our Pow Wow 101 workshop. It's always a blessing to gather in the spirit of community, culture, and education. And today we take another step in keeping our traditions alive here at Mesa Community College. First, I want to acknowledge the incredible work of our ISO student leaders. If you're a student leader, please stand up and you're part of ISO. We have Marlena, Billy, We have Shy. We have our president, Jaden. And Maya over here. And then we also have our American Indian Institute staff, which also includes Maya and Miss Leora as well, and Stephen. All of these individuals have helped make this event possible. Their commitment to our Indigenous students and the success of our programs is a testament to the strength and resilience of our community. Our MCC Pow Wow has been a significant part of our campus since 2015, serving as a space for celebration, cultural celebration, education, and connection. After a brief pause due to the pandemic, we were proud to bring it back in 2022, ensuring now that this tradition continues for future generations. Now we are honored to host this event annually, reaffirming our commitment to uplifting Indigenous voices and traditions in higher education. Powwows are more than just celebrations. They are spaces of healing, belonging, and strength. They are where our people come together to dance and sing and share in the beauty of who we are as Indigenous people. We are students. For our students, events like these are more than just cultural gatherings. They are acts of resilience. They remind us that our identities and traditions are sources of power, giving us the strength to continue our academic journeys, pursue their dreams, and create lasting changes in our communities. As we begin, please feel free to grab lunch if you haven't and make yourselves comfortable. At this time, we are really excited to welcome our featured presenter, OJ Moss, who will be sharing his knowledge and experience with us today. And so with that, I want to say, yeah, thank you all so much for being here, and we look forward to enjoying this time with you.
Guys, let's get started. So again, you guys get food, and, relax, get comfortable. All right, this is Pow Wow 101. My name is OJ Moses. I am Navajo, and my clans are Ishni and Ishne, Sitnajini Bashishchin, Yaani Bashichin, Pachin Bashamele. I was born in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Anybody know where that's at? Denver. Yeah. And I grew up in Colorado, elementary, halfway to middle school. Around middle school, 8th grade, I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's where I finished my high school years. And when I turned 21, I moved from New Mexico to Mesa. So now I make my home here in Mesa, Arizona. I grew up in a family that goes to powwows. And my father was a singer. My father had his own drum group. And my uncles, my grandparents, they danced, sang. And I didn't receive my first outfit until I was 6 years old when I got brought into the circle of the arena. And after 6 years old, I carried that on, and I've never danced. I haven't danced in the circle going on, I would say 6 years now. I am now 26 years old. So it's been a while, and the reason I'm a very humorous person, so I can say that me gaining weight is the reason why I stopped dancing. And I am married, 3 kids. I have my wife, my two boys, and my daughter right there.
Sorry.
No.
Virtually, they could only hear the music.
Oh. Here's the next slide. Okay, before we even get to this, let me see a show of hands if anybody knows what a powwow is. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you think a powwow is in your own opinion? Okay. So that's the reason why we're here. You guys want to know what a powwow is, right? So what I was taught is powwow was a ceremony, as you can see from the Pawnee tribe in Oklahoma. It was a ceremony long time ago. And it was only the Pawnees that did it, that did that own ceremony. Until years after, different tribes started to pick up what a powwow was and brought it into their culture. And then years later, it became a competition. That competition aspect was added to where prize money was involved, to where everybody would get crafty with their regalia, like put applique, different stitching, different glitter effects, different shiny beads. And that's basically nowadays is what people look for as judges, is who has the nicest outfit and who has the right style of footwork that matches the same beat as a drum. So keep in mind, it was a ceremony. It's not a ceremony no more. It is more of a gathering to where other indigenous cultures and tribes can come together and be around one another to share laughter, to share friendship, and just share anything from our culture to another person. And that's how, if you go to powwows nowadays, a lot of people pick up different different designs to put into their outfits because they went to that one person that's a different tribe and ask the proper way to gain that design, to gain those certain designs to put onto theirs so they can carry that on. So basically, it kind of different designs migrated to different tribes, and that's how everyone's basically it's a friendship. It's a friendship ceremony, as you could. It's still a ceremony, but it's more a public ceremony now. So, and nowadays powwows it used to be one day. Now they can go up to 3 days. 3 days, and that's you guys probably been to. This past weekend there was a powwow in Sales, Arizona, and then sometimes they have it at on the Navajo Nation Fair. Those go on for a week, but the powwows do last 3 days. So the powwows do's and don'ts. There's a lot of do's and there's a lot of don'ts. So the first one, I always get this a lot when I'm at a powwow. A lot of people, Anglos, come up to me and ask me, are pictures allowed? Pictures are allowed, and there's a lot of people that ask me, oh, is it okay for me to take a picture of this certain dancer? That's when you go up to the actual person face to face and ask them, because there are some still people out there to this day that do turn people down for pictures. Why? Because there's certain stuff on the regalia that can't be shown to younger generations on social media, because nowadays, if you go on social media, there's people that like to bad talk other people, and that's not what they want. Video and voice recording, I do like to do both. So it's welcome. You guys are allowed to. You guys can even go stand at the base of the arena and record the dancers. Any dancer you want, or you can record the whole thing. Or you can even go to the drum when the group is singing. You can walk up, stand behind a singer, and record. It's okay. Dancing, a lot of Anglos always ask me as well, are we allowed to be a part of it? And like I tell them, if you guys feel comfortable to go out there and express how you feel, how the drum makes you feel, how the songs make you feel, you're more than welcome to go out there and express your feelings, your emotions, because we are all human. That's if you know, if you want to dance, if you want to spin around, jump around, lay down, crawl around, you're more than welcome to, because that's your feelings. That's how you feel. Giving donations. You guys are probably wanting to see what giving donations is. Giving donations. There's a lot of powwows nowadays that during times when people are dancing, there's some elders that there's a lot of people that bring their seniors and their elderly people that come around and to watch. So usually the arena director, the person that takes care of the arena, he would be the one to grab a blanket of some type, usually a Pendleton or some type of wool blanket, and put it right in the center. And the announcer, the MC, would let people know, you're more than welcome to give a donation. It could be $1, $5, $10, however much you want to put on that blanket. And that's your thanks to the people that made who we are, which are the elderly people. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a mom, we wouldn't have a dad. So they still come around, they still watch. So we have to give thanks some way, somehow. And that's what the offering is for. We put the money down, and when that money is collected after that song, the arena director would come and pick that blanket up, take it back, and he would have women. I would always see women count on a table and separate it. And they would find individuals of elderly women and gift it to them. So that's what it is. Also, it's not only just a blanket. Just like how I told you guys, however a drum makes you guys feel, the songs. A lot of people, I myself, if a song sounds very soothing and it touches a part of me inside to where it makes me feel happy, it makes me feel emotional, I would reach in my pocket, take out a $10, $5, $20, and go to that drum and lay it right on top of the drum, and shake each and every one of those singers' hands and tell them thank you, and express, this is how I felt when you guys sang this song. And there's a lot of people, a lot of older people that don't do money, they do tobacco. And it's not like the tobacco you guys can get at a gas station where you could. A lot of people nowadays, they have menthol. It's not those ones to where you can pop it. It's the real tobacco. You guys probably seen it. There's a pack of natives. Or even on the box it says natural tobacco. Those are the ones you can carry at a powwow. And there's a lot of singers nowadays that have it inside their drum bag. I myself have a group of my own, and I always have a bag of tobacco inside my drumstick bag. And before we come to a powwow and we set up, we put the drum down onto stands, and us singers, however many there are, I take that tobacco out, and we each get a pinch, and we put it on the drum, and we say our little prayer. Because they always say, you never know who has bad energy, who's going to be around you, who's going to be watching you. Because in today's world, we do live with hatred and jealousy. So that's the reason why, as us Native American people, we use tobacco to protect before we sing, before we dance. So, and the don'ts. No touching regalia. A lot of people like to come. As an example, there was an incident that happened, and I don't know if you guys know, a powwow, gathering of nations, that happens in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's the world's biggest powwow in North America. It happens every year in April in Albuquerque. There was an incident there. Also in Denver, there's another powwow, as big as gathering, Denver March powwow. At Denver March, there was uh, an Anglo lady. Men, they wear a piece of regalia that goes on their back called a bustle, and it's eagle feathers. It's a whole wing of one side of an eagle and the other side. And right in the center, it makes a tail, and that's a bustle. And that when they're not dancing, some men and some dancers, they hang it on top of a chair or they tie it off somewhere. So this dancer had his bustle tied off to where it was close. So an Anglo came up, untied it, and she put it on. And another dancer had to come and tell her, you cannot do that. You cannot touch another person's belongings, especially a Native American person, that he uses that on the arena floor. Because you don't know the prayers and the songs and the teachings that went inside that. That is the reason why you just don't go up and touch someone's beadwork. You don't go up and touch someone's outfit. You have to have that respect, because I'm pretty sure you guys would kind of have that curious look if someone came up to you and wanted to touch your pants, your shirt, take off your hat and put it on. That is the reason why you ask permission at these places called powwow. You just don't go and want to touch something just like this. I don't know whose this is. I don't know the significance of why it's here. Someone probably put it here for their protection. So I have that respect of just leaving it there. I'm not going to touch it. Recording. See, I put voice recording on the dues. You can, but there is a time during the powwow when a dancer or even a person dressed in regular street clothes, a whistle carrier is what they're called, a whistle carrier. And they're the most holiest people from my teachings of what I was taught. They're the most holiest people in the powwow circuit. They're just like medicine people, just like how a lot of you Anglo have doctors. You know, we have doctors as indigenous people as well, but we call them medicine people. We call them healers. And there's a lot of healers and medicine men, medicine women. But in the powwow circuit, medicine men are the only ones that carry a whistle, and it's usually an eagle bone whistle. An eagle bone that long. They can either wear as a necklace, or they even have it on a staff like this that they dance with. And it's usually right at the base of their hand. So, a whistle. What a whistle is during any song, intertribal, where everybody can dance, anybody, clothing or not, you're more than welcome to go out there. But just like how I backtrack, just like how I told you guys, if a song makes you feel some type of way, that's when a medicine man or a healer can use that time and bring out his whistle. And that's like his offering to the drum. So every singer, every drum group that sings a song, there's 4 starts. There's a lead and a melody, and it keeps going 4 times. There's 4 leads in one song. Usually, the healer would blow his whistle on the last melody of that 4th lead, which means there will be another set of 4 leads on top of that. So in a total, though that group would sing 8 leads in that one song. And usually after that last whistle is blown, the arena director would cut off the drum until they're finished with their song. And then the dancer would come over to the drum and explain why he blew his whistle. And I've been around so many powwows that I've heard different reasons of why medicine healers blew their whistle on certain songs, certain drum groups. And usually it's the reason why nowadays is either someone's sick in their family, either they're battling something in their life, because again, we're all human. We all battle certain things. We all have trouble. Stress. A lot of us probably have stress. School can be stressful. Work can be stressful. Or even a lot family member had passed on. That's some of the reasons why a dancer would blow his whistle. And he would take out tobacco again and put it on the drum. Shake each and every one of those singers' hands, and they would close it off there. And that would be like his offering to the drum, and to have that drum take his feelings and his prayers and take care of it however the Creator, the person that we pray to, can take care of it for him. So, and I'm pretty sure you guys, if you guys go to that table, there's a flyer for Mesa Community College's powwow that's coming up. What, next month? Next month. This one. And there's usually information way at the bottom. Alcohol and drugs prohibited. A lot of people ask, I've always had that question when my dad had his group, because I did have uncles and grandpas that drank, that smoked, or carried weapons. And I always tell my dad, how come you don't let people that drink alcohol, that do drugs, sit at your drum? And he always told me, the reason why is that drum is very sacred. Every song that we sing is a prayer. So to have someone that has alcohol in their system, drugs in their system, it can wash that out. To where none of those songs that we sing, none of those songs that are prayers that have words will never work. To where even in a ceremony, a lot of tribes have ceremonial dances, and there's a lot of people that restrict those, drugs and alcohol, because drugs and alcohol, it's not good, It's not good for our system. It's not good in general, but we have it here. It's part of life, And that's the reason why I was always told, you never ever have anybody that has alcohol or drugs in your drum circle, because you're there for a good reason. You're there for a good cause, to make people feel happy, make people feel welcome, make people feel comfortable. And for you to have someone that has those things in their system sit at your drum, none of your songs will have meaning or make anybody express their feelings, because that power of that alcohol, drugs will kill that good energy in your drum. That is the reason why you don't have stuff like that around places like a powwow. Also, cutting across arenas. Usually an arena is pretty big. It's about, I would say, twice the size of this whole room. And people would sit on the outside, and people would be dancing where you guys are sitting. And there's a lot of teachings that they always say, you never walk across. You never cut across. If you're going to go on the other side, say you're sitting over here and you see a nice vendor that's selling baked goods on that side, and you want to go across, you don't do that because there's a lot of opening prayers that happen as when people are setting up a powwow. They always have someone, an elderly person, usually a veteran, that would stand there and pray for the grounds and ask for good things to a good outcome, that nothing will affect the powwow. Everyone will have a good time. And then you're there, not using your head. You want to cut that line off just so you want to feed your tummy or you want to go buy something. They always say, if you want to do that, you go around. You never, ever go across the dance arena. Just out of respect, just like I'm pretty sure it's kind of like as an example, a lot of us have people that pass on at funerals. I'm pretty sure if the casket is right here and you want to say something and see somebody on that side, I'm pretty sure you're not going to pass the casket and walk. No, you're going to have that respect. Excuse yourself wherever you're sitting or standing and walk around and say your hellos or give your condolences to somebody on the other side. That's just like us. Just have that respect for our power grounds and never ever cut across, because there are prayers that are said before we even have dancers and singers set up around that arbor or the dance arena. Any questions? No? So, every powwow has an opening ceremony, just like how Talia asked, I'm sorry? Marlena, to come up here and say the opening prayer. Every ceremony, every event has their own type of opening prayer. You guys can even go to a basketball game, and what does a basketball game have in the beginning? Pledge of Allegiance. And then some of them even sing the national anthem. We have this exact same thing. But ours, we have a gourd dance as in a powwow country. What a gourd dance is veterans, warriors. They have a sash, red and blue. And those men come out with gourds. And usually a southern group, usually the whole southern, there's two drums. And the next slide we'll get to that. But there's in a southern group, they would usually sit in the middle of the arena. And they would sing while the gourd dancers would be around. And there's usually 12 songs, I believe. 12 songs that they have to dance to. And that's basically a prayer that you're doing for the veterans, the warriors, past, present, that are going to be blessing that ground. And usually after that gourd dance, they would even have another person come up. If they want to say another prayer, they can have that time when everybody's there. Because during gourd dance, not everybody is all there. It's mostly just the elderly veterans, past and present, that are able to go in that to dance and take part of that gourd dance. The opening prayer, they do have that opening prayer. Usually the arena director would go and ask an elderly man, give him tobacco. And keep in mind, I'm going to be saying tobacco here and there throughout this whole presentation, because tobacco is what we use. And a lot of northern tribes, they use tobacco a lot to this day. They have pipe ceremonies. So throughout this whole presentation, I'll be saying tobacco this, tobacco that, because that's just us as indigenous people is what we use to pray with. So, opening prayer, they would have an arena director will go up to an elderly person, offer him tobacco, and tell him, I want you to say a prayer for this whole arena, for the people that are still traveling to come here. And I want you to bless, bless them and bless this whole arena and each and everyone here, that we have a great time, that we express our good feelings, we express and leave our pain, our stress, whatever we're feeling, leave it here and change it out with good feelings, and that we go home and we find our home the way we left it or even better. And that's the reason why we always have an opening prayer, and it's usually a prayer or even a prayer song. A lot of tribes are different, and it's not only one tribe that can do it. It's all up to the arena director. He can pick an Otham, he can pick a Navajo, he can pick a Lakota Sioux, he could pick a Cree. It's all up to however he feels of what's best for that purpose in that moment. And grand entry, I'm pretty sure you guys know what grand entry is. It's kind of like when everybody, grand entry is when all the dancers are all ready to go from head to toe. They got every piece of regalia on, ready to express their outfits, their style, their dance moves, anything. And they always line up at the east. However, the powwow is set, the powwow, if it's set like right the way it is now, you guys are faced this way. Which way is east? So people will be lining up on that side. And usually, the way a powwow is, it cuts off. It's a circle, but they always have a gap open. And that's where the dancers always line up. They come in and they go out. So the the master of ceremonies will always tell them, all dancers, we're having grand entry at 12:36 now. So 12:40, you guys have a few minutes to get on the east side before grand entry starts. And you guys are probably wondering, well, what's the purpose of having people line up on the east? A lot of tribes, when we pray to the east. Some tribes, they pray to the north. It's all different. We're not all the same, but we do pray to the same person. No matter what tribe you are, we only have one person that we pray to. So they always say the east side is for good things. And that's the reason why they have everybody line up on the east side. And that's why a lot of people come in and they dance, circle and circle. And you'll see as many dancers, it can go up to at least the biggest powwow I've been to, I've seen over about 2,000 dancers. And that's everybody coming in from the east in a circle, all the way around. And as the circle gets more collided with more people, people will just have to keep moving in and to where everybody is elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder. That's how tight it can get. So that is a grand entry when everybody comes in and they express their dance moves and their style. And then after grand entry, when everybody's all in, there's always a flag and victory. And when people are coming in during grand entry, there's always in the front, there's always a dancer. It's always a traditional, a warrior. He comes in with a staff like this, more feathers, or maybe just even something like this. He comes in first. And then after, it's the flag holders, which are the warriors, the veterans, people in service or not in service, past. They always come in after, and then it's usually the head man and the head woman. So it's a man, lady. And then behind them is usually the gore dancer. And then from there, it's royalty. And we have a royalty member right there. And as everybody comes in, and after that song is done, that's where the flag and victory song comes in. A flag is like our national anthem. And I'm pretty sure you guys all know the national anthem, right? Yeah. Well, a lot of tribes have different song, their own national anthem in their own language. But a lot of tribes around here, there's one song that they always sing it's from the Lakota Sioux, and it's very popular, and that's the flag song that we sing. Again, it's a national anthem. The victory, everybody dances in place after that flag song. Usually that flag song is take two starts, two leads, and then a melody, and then it's done. And the victory, everybody dances in place. And that's four leads, four starts. And what that is it's a victory song. And that goes back to the people that, again, the veterans, all the wars that have happened in the past. That's our victory to show our appreciation of what they've done. We wouldn't have what we have now. So that's us expressing our thank you to the ones that went to war to gain respect for us to have what we have as indigenous people. So, any questions? Yes, grand entry. When dancers are coming in, just like that, you never cut that line off, or you never even block there. I've seen people stand there and want to record, and people are trying to come through and bump into the person, and they get mad, but then the arena director always says, hey, you can't be standing there. So they have to find a different place. So you never, if you want to record, you can stand on any other side, but you never ever block off the east side if you want to record, take pictures. No, you're fine. Drum groups. Like I said, there's always a host northern and host southern. And they always put it on flyers. So host northern for next month's powwow is Wekongli Gleshka. Southern, the Southern Slam. Every powwow has a northern and a southern. And say this is, like I said, this is a dance arena. This is the front. So the master of ceremonies will be sitting on his table, and his right-hand man, right-hand woman. And on this side usually would be host northern or host southern. Vice versa, host northern or host southern. They always go in the front. And northern style, northern singing came from the northern plains. So from Montana up into Canada. And it's more of a high-pitched tone of singing. Southern was originated from the Southern Plain tribes in Oklahoma. And that's more of a deeper tone. And it's more soothing in my thought. It's more soothing, it's calm. But some songs can get rowdy, and it just makes you want to dance a little more. Powwows, they have age groups. A lot of powwows nowadays are competition. Like I said, competitive. And that's when age groups come in. Usually in the beginning, when people are coming in at a powwow, they would have a powwow, or they would have a table, usually up front, with people with um, paperwork and all that, and then they would bring up their kids, or even adults, teenagers, juniors. They would come up and sign themselves up, and they would get a number. And that's their number to be in the contest during contest time. And these are the age groups. Tiny Tots goes as young as my daughter back there, all the way to the age of 5, which is my son on this side. And juniors is 7 to 12, which starts off with my son right there in the gray shirt, around that age on up to 12 years old. And then it goes on to teens to 13 to 17. And then adults 18 to 54. And the reason why I put stars there is all powwows are different. If you go up to powwows down here for contest time, that is the age limit down here, 18 to 54. But if you go up to Canada powwows, Montana, North Dakota, it could even start at 21 to 60. And then golden age is 55 plus. And those are usually the elders, the seniors, the golden age people. So, and we all have different categories. I myself, I've danced grass and prairie chicken. So, for men's, we have men's traditional. And what that is it's a warrior's dance. It's a warrior, a scout. So, that is what traditional is. Southern straight is more of like a warrior dance as well. They follow after the men's traditional. So, a men's traditional, like I said, they wear the bustle with the eagle feathers on their back. And they carry staffs as big as this or however big the dancer wants it. I've seen some dancers get outrageous and almost throw the bajillion birds on them and they go out there. Southern straight. Southern straight dancer only has one feather on his head inside his roach. And what a roach is, it's made out of porcupine. It goes literally from here, however long they want it. And it's all made out of porcupine hair. And then it's trimmed off with deer hair, whitetail. But a lot of times now, some dancers add color in those deer hair. They dye it. So it could be pink, it could be green, purple, blue, whatever color they want to match their outfit colors. So a southern straight dancer always has one eagle feather in his roach. And he has a trail that goes from here straight down, and it has conchos on his back all the way down. And he always wears his bells up here above his shins. And he has not as big as a staff like this. It's a little smaller, probably arm length. And that has one feather. And I would tell you guys what the meaning is behind that, but as I was taught to go more in depth in these things, I would need an offering, a token, tobacco, to let you guys know what the meaning is on certain things like that. I'm just giving you guys the little details of what they have. Grass dance. A grass dance is usually in the northern plains up in Canada, they would always have the grass dancers come out first. Because back some time ago, when it was originated, powwows were originated. The Pawnees would tie grass, long, tall grass. If you go to the northern plains, Montana, North Dakota, you will see grass from the ground this high. And they would bend those and fold them and tie them off back some time ago. And they would put it on tuck them into their breechcloth, or even tie it into making a shirt, or tie it off onto whatever they have on. And that's where grass dance came from. And usually they would come out and they would flatten the grass, the big tall grass, before the scouts and the warriors would come out for battle. So the grass ants will always be the first ones to come out and stomp down the tall grass. That way they have a place to hide out. Prairie chicken. Prairie chicken is a prairie grouse that came from the Blackfoot tribe. And Blackfoots come from Montana, Canada. Some come from Canada, but originated mostly in Blackfoot country, Canada, or Montana. And that's usually prairie chicken, the original. They would have arm bustles, one here, and one here. Or there were even some elders that would have them under legs as well. Those is what you call a prairie chicken dancer. And what their significance is, if you ever look up on YouTube or even seen a prairie grouse, if you watch how a prairie grouse moves around, it shakes their legs pretty fast and they go across. And what they're trying to do is the male grouse will puff out his chest and he would try to get another female grouse's attention, because maybe he has interest in that female grouse, and he's doing everything he can to get that female's attention of, hey, I'm over here. I'm pretty sure all you females seen men that walk around with muscle shirts and they want to puff out their chest and walk around. As exactly in the power industry is what a chicken dance. That's what they do. They're trying to get a female's attention. So it's mostly like a mating dance, is what I was told. So there's some powwows that the announcer would always say, they would call out the prairie chicken dancers, prairie chicken dancers, get ready, get in the arena. You guys are going to have a song from Host Northern. Host Northern, get your song ready. And all you jealous men, it's your time to take your wife, your girlfriend, and go for a walk, because if she sees prairie chicken dancer, you're going to be going home alone. Fancy dance. Fancy dance is a war dance, and that came from Oklahoma. It was mostly a southern fancy. Again, southern tribes only did that. But then years passed by, northern came in to the books, and it became northern fancy. A lot of bigger powwows nowadays, they split it into that category: northern fancy, southern fancy. And what that is they'll have northern fancy, only the northern singers would sing for them. Southern fancy, the southern group would only sing those songs. And their style is a lot different if you look at the way they dance. It's more old style from southern side. But if you see on the northern fancy, it's more contemporary. It's more cartwheels, it's more flips, it's more splits. So women's, there's only 3 categories. There's a women's northern traditional and a southern traditional. Just like how I have it down here, northern and southern for fancy, there's a northern and southern for traditional and women's. There's a northern cloth, and then there's a northern cloth is more contemporary, where you could see this kind of work on every outfit of a northern dancer. And southern cloth, southern traditional, they also call it southern cloth. Southern traditional is more of like a old school buckskin. And you'll see women with buckskin from neck on down, and they only have one blanket, and it's usually a shawl. And they dance to slower songs. Northern traditional, it came from the Crows, the Crow country in Montana. And those northern style traditional on this side for female, they can either get a straight song, which is a normal normal beat, or a double beat, where the females, which is if you watch them, they'll glide. They'll glide their feet. They'll follow, follow, follow. And that's where the crows came from. The crows are the ones that originate that style, the double beat on the female side. Or they can either get a shake song, and that's where all the drummers, they get crazy with their sticks, and it's just like back to back, everybody. So those are the type of songs that traditional women would get on the traditional side, northern side. Jingle, jingle dress, and that's what this is over here. This is a jingle dress right here. And usually these cones are made out of tobacco cans, skull cans. You guys know what skull is? Copenhagen, Grizzly. And it was from my understanding, from what I was told, it was a healing dance that was brought from the Ojibwe, the Anishinaabe people. And it was a healing dance that a little girl, she was sick, very sick, to where she was unable to, at the urge of not getting better, until her healers had told her, let's make one, put it on, have her dance. Within 4 days, she got better because that dress was so powerful that it healed her. And that's the reason why, if you ever go to a powwow, they would always call them the healers, the healing dance. And just like I said, the double beat, it will be more of an up tempo for that. It's called a sidestep. And that's where the women would move their arms back to back, front to back, and they would move side to side. And that's where that healing dance came from, was the Anishinaabe Ojibwe people. Fancy shawl. Fancy shawl. Fancy shawl is a butterfly dance, is what I was told. And it's more, where that came from was females back in the day saw how the men's fancy danced real fast. The northerns and southerns, as fast as they spin, splits, kicking their legs up in the air. The women want to get competitive and want to show the men that they can do it too. So if you ever go to a powwow, when they call women's fancy, they get fast songs just like the way the men do. So, in all reality, we have about 8 categories, and they're pretty long. You guys probably think, oh, 8 categories, this is the powwows and end quick. No, there's a lot of dancers that dance in each category. There's about 30 dancers in each, maybe even more, and that's where they split it. It could be Group A, Group B. Intertribals and exhibitions. Intertribals, they have drum contests. That's where the competitive part comes in. The arena director will go and pick certain judges. He would even pick you, and you. Okay, I want you to go judge that group over there. And then this table, I want you to judge that group over there. That's where the judging comes in for the drum contest. And at the end of the powwow's over, that's when everybody That's where they tally up everything from each judge of certain points of who sang the best, who was on drum, who was on the same beat, no trash around the drum. So everyone, intertribals, everyone's welcome to dance. No matter if you're fully clothed with a regalia or street clothes, you're more than welcome to come out and dance and express your feelings. And usually during intertribals, it could be singer's choice. You could either get a round dance or a straight song, a double beat, or a crow hop. Singer's choice during intertribals. Exhibition is where they do competition for the dancing. Again, judges. You can take care of the singers, and then after the singers are done, you can even have to wait around with more pen and paper and get ready to judge any category they tell you guys to judge. You guys can even judge men's grass, men's prairie chicken. You guys can do women's jingle. See, it's all different. And only registered dancers are able to dance in those competition of exhibitions. And a lot of powwows, they have specials. And what a special is, I'll go from top to bottom. A lot of powwows that are being put on, just like Mesa Community College is a committee that's putting this powwow on. You know, they can even have a committee special, and what that is a committee can come together. The people that are putting it on, it could be a native club or just teachers that came together to put this powwow on. That's a committee, and they can put on any special. And I've seen some crazy ones. You know, there's some committee specials that they even have people dressed just like a hat, some shoes, t-shirt, pants. They call it a street clothes contest. You can have people come out, Anglos, and win big prize money. The most big prize money I ever heard someone won was about 25,000. That's pretty, yeah. She's like, okay, I'm. So it's all different. Street clothes, potato dance, sweetheart dance. Those are different types of specials that you can do. Or a hat and boot special where you can express your Western wear, put on some boots, put on some bells, grab your rope, cowgirl or cowboy hat, go out there and dance. That's another committee special. Head boy and head girl, they can always have their own special. If the head boy is a grass dance, he can have his grass dance special. It usually goes from all ages, or he can even do his his category of age group, which is 7 to 12, or whatever age he is. Same with the girl. Fancy shawl, she can have a fancy shawl special, a jingle special, or they can even just do a giveaway. You know, if they don't want to have a special, they can just have their family come together and put offerings, and they will give it to head staff. Usually it's food, a blanket, tobacco, water, or even just a little gift on the side. And they always gift the invited drums, the people that came to share their songs. And I've seen some people get cases of soda. I myself, I go for the soda. I love soda. Water, and usually it's always a fruit basket. And I'm pretty sure you guys been to like Walmart or Dollar Tree, especially Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has it. Dollar Tree always carries a little miniature laundry baskets. They always stuff those with goodies. It could either be a towel, apples, oranges, cookies. That's a gift basket. And give it to the drum. And then from there, singers take whatever they want and share it within that drum circle. Head man and head woman is the same way as the boy and girl. They can have any special they want. Just like Mesa Community College, the head woman, head lady, Renee Blackwater. She's having her own special, the Footlight special. And again, I'm pretty sure you guys know what a foot slide special is now because, like I said, I demonstrated foot back to back, following with one beat. Or it can be a crow hop just like that, or even a double beat. Just all in her preference, whatever she wants for her special, what kind of songs. So it's all different. So miscellaneous. There's a lot of powwows nowadays. Bring your own chairs because space availability. It's some powwows they're really clammed. They're not really gigantic and everybody can kick off their shoes and lay back and enjoy and watch. No, some powwows they get really squished, just like Gathering of Nations in Albuquerque. Everybody's sitting elbow to elbow because it's in a coliseum. Even on the dance floor, they split half of that dance floor and everybody sits off to the side. It's really clammed. So bring your own chairs just to be on the safe side because not all powwows have bleachers. Not all powwows provide chairs. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to go to a powwow, bring your own chairs. Be courteous. There's a lot of people that, well, I see a bunch of natives in here. I'm pretty sure you guys been to certain gatherings to where a lot of natives use blankets like this and spot savies. They throw it on a chair and they walk away and they want to go walk around. For example, my wife does that. She takes up like a whole row of 12 chairs and there's only 4 of us. No, but be courteous for other people. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Make friends. Bring a blanket. If you want to bring a friend, bring an extra blanket. Lay it down for that person. If she's bringing her kids, his wife, his family, his girlfriend, and his wife. Lost and found. There's always something that goes missing at a powwow. It can either be a dancer's earring, some part of the dancer's regalia, or even something like this. But if you're a female and you come across something like this that's just laying there or sitting there and everybody's not around and the powwow's over, everybody's going home, and you see something like this sitting there, you always flag someone down that's a male. Always a man. As a woman, you never touch another man's belongings because there's so many sacred stuff, powerful stuff that's inside songs and prayers that are inside this object that he dances with. So as a female, have that respect. Don't touch it. Always have a man come and grab it for you and tell him, hey, this is lost. I found it. Or even an earring. A lot of people find women's earrings that fell off a dancer, or a little kid's moccasins is laying there, throwing a fit, walking to the car, and he kicked his moccasin off. It's laying there. Always pick it up and take it to the front of the powwow. Like I said, where the master of ceremonies is sitting, the person that's talking throughout the whole powwow. Let them know, hey, I found this. Hey, I found this scarf laying over there. I'm just returning it. Wallets. Wallets is a big one. You guys take care of your wallets. I've seen so many people lose their wallets and get returned. I myself lost my wallet before. And like I said, I'm an entertainer myself. This is not what I do sometimes. I'm a guest speaker, but I do shows around the Valley of Phoenix, and I express my songs and all that. So you guys can find my music on all streaming platforms. But I lost after a show. I had money. my wallet. And I lost it the next day at a powwow. Got my wallet back, but the money was gone. So take care of your stuff. Closing, again, there's always a flag song. The national anthem is sung again. And then the exit song, where everybody, all the dancers go out and they close it off. The powwow's done. And then that's when the dancer, the person that brought in the staff has to always dance out the staff. And then the colors, the veterans carry the flags up. Always, always. And then announcements. Again, announcements, when the next powwow is, what's coming up next, or even lost and found. Hey, these are what's found. You guys come and get it before you guys go home. And then it's your buenos. See you guys later. See you guys next time. So that's basically what a powwow is, guys. Here's my contact information if you guys want to get a hold of me. If you guys want to find out more. But I hope you guys learned something. I know we're on a time span. I'm sorry to talk slow and all that. But I hope you guys gained something and actually do make your way to Mesa's powwow next month, March 8th, and take some of this knowledge in and see it for yourself and express it. And maybe you guys can come back and tell Talia or one of the other people in the back and tell them, come across them, hey, this is what I gained. This is, it's true. So, or you can any powwow. Go up to Canada. Powwows all happen around. You can even go on Facebook, type in powwows, and there's flyers everywhere. So, but again, guys, thank you guys for inviting me out here. I hope you guys enjoyed my time with you guys and sharing my thoughts and my knowledge on what powwow is with you guys, and I hope you guys gained something from it. But give it back to Talia, and thank you guys so much.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Come back. Hey. We have a gift for you. So, yeah, thank you to you and your family for being here today. And there's some pencils for your children and even some earrings for your wife. So, yeah, all donations from our students and our staff.
We'll share it.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So as a part of this presentation and this event today, we thank you so much for, spending your time with us. We also have our students here that wanted to be a part of the student panel, and part of the powwow is to bring, this culture, have representation of our Indigenous students. For those of you that don't know, we have over 574 plus Native American Indigenous tribes across the nation in the United States. And here in the state of Arizona, we have 22 tribal nations. Here at MCC, we have about 18 tribal nations out of the 22 represented on our campus. And we have about over 1,100 Native American students that are affiliated with MCC. So we're the largest Maricopa Community College population for Native American students. And so we as staff, as students, we're really honored to have that representation here on campus. And so we wanted to invite our students to have a time to share what this significant cultural experience, this cultural celebration means to them, how it contributes to their academic success, and all of the hard work that they put into this event as well. So I'll have them sit down, and then we have our moderator, Ms. Leora, who's going to be moderating this portion. And so we have about till 1:30. There's still some food back there. So if you're able to stay a little bit longer, that's great. If not, that's okay too, if you need to excuse yourself. But before we get started, I just wanted to make a little bit of a commentary about this Eagle staff. Last year, we were really honored and blessed by one of our faculty members, Dr. Eddie Webb. he donated this eagle claw up here, and that eagle claw, he wanted to put it together so we were able to talk amongst our community of our network, and they were able to fashion the staff here for our powwow. And so the people that contributed to that was Dr. Webb, one of our cultural liaisons, Trevor Foster, who's also our MC at the powwow this year, student Tabaha Metcalf, he's a lead singer for our powwow this year as well for our Northern Host Drum, and then also another young man named Trevino. And so they fashioned the staff, donated the eagle feathers and everything. So the representation of the staff is for everybody, Indigenous students and non-Indigenous students. And it's supposed to be, kind of like a beacon of inspiration, of hope. We know as students, you guys go through a lot of different trials, tribulations, challenges. There was prayers, there were songs that were said about this. And so we wanted to fashion the staff to be representative of all students here on campus. So we're always thinking about you. We're always having you guys in our prayers and our hearts when we're dancing, when we're putting on events like this. So I just wanted to extend that information here. But I'm going to allow Leora here, and then afterwards, if you're able to stick around, OJ is going to share a song with us. We're going to have a round net song, a friendship song, so we can gather around and end in a good way like that. So pass it to Leora.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yat Shea, Leora Smith, Yinisha, Twitter Chini Nishle, Toba Habashishi, Kintla Chini Deshanele. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Leora Smith. I'm actually one of the advisors over at the American Indian Institute here at Mesa Community College. I'm also the advisor for the Intertribal Student Organization. So I'm really honored, and I'm really so proud of my students here. We have other ISO students here in the crowd as well, and I'm really glad you guys are here to support your fellow students as well. And so just to kind of, like we were saying, we're kind of we do have a live feed going on as well. So if those of you that don't know, so that's why we're trying to at least wrap the informational part of the session by 1:30. And then I just wanted to introduce, so when we were talking about putting this workshop on, our main goal and our main focus as advisors for the American Indian Institute is how are we supporting our Indigenous students? And we really want to give our students a chance to have their voices to be heard, not only by us, because we hear them every single day, and we hear their struggles and things like that that's going on our campus, and they want to be able to voice that to our faculty, staff, and administration. So I'm really glad there are a lot of folks online as well, including admin and staff. So I would just, and then, so we asked if we could have some of our ISO members to say a little something and give a little insight onto how they feel and what this powwow means to them. So if we could, I'm going to have each person introduce themselves. If possible, could you just introduce yourself? I'm sorry, hold on, we had this all figured out. If we can just, your tribal affiliation, your major field of, or your field of study, and a brief connection you have to powwows. And we'll start with Miss Cadence here.
Yes, thank you, Leora, for that welcome. So, hello, everyone. I'll go ahead and stand while I do my introduction. My name is Cadence Sales, Cadence Iqui Sales. Iqui Dove in my native language is my middle name. I am the current Miss 2023 to 2024 Miss Native Mesa Community College. Our pageant is coming up soon, so I'm happy to pass off the title, but I'm a representative here for our Indigenous Native American students. So I work a lot with Maricopa Community Colleges. I go out to powwows and events like this. So seeing a little bit of this, they get to experience a little bit of all tribal nations and where these people may come from. But yeah, I come from the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation. I'll go ahead and introduce myself, my native language of Yavapai. So Mahamja Gimuja, Nyamola Cadence Sales, Niagwev Kapai, Kweth Giala, Abaja Nyamacha, Niawa Mesa, Arizona. Dinyarth Sivjo Mesa Community College. So yes, I live in Mesa, Arizona. I come from the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, which is located in central Arizona. On my father's side, I am Yavapai and African American, and on my mother's side, I am Yavapai and Lakota Sioux, like he was mentioning earlier as well. I am in my traditional regalia today of the Yavapai people, so if you have any questions about that after, feel free to ask me, but the platform I chose to represent is identifying missing and murdered Indigenous women and Two-Spirit people. So when I go to these events, I promote this platform. It's a cause that's important to me, and when you're in royalty, that's something that you represent and that you're proud of. So that's the cause that I chose to support. That's why I always wear red. That's why I always represent our Two-Spirit individuals and people as well, because our queer siblings, brothers, sisters are the back bend of our community as well. So yeah, that's a little bit more about me. Something I enjoy about powwows is going to them so often. Sometimes they're seasonal, so you have majority of powwow season is in the spring, which is a good time, especially here in Arizona where it's not too hot. Trust me, oh my god, it gets so bad. Like I've sweated so gross sometimes. The winter ones, oh, the winter ones are so nice though because it's a nice, I guess, resting time, but it's also good for healing and for experiencing all the foods, all of the arts, all of the culture. So it just depends, but I really like and enjoy attending powwows year round. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Honeygum, thank you.
Thank you, Cadence. My name is Marlena Whitehair. I am a member of the Hill River Indian community, but I am also Navajo. I am majoring in American Indian Studies, and my connection with powwow is basically I was born into it. My parents and like my grandparents, we all dance powwow, and so for me, like that was just part of my identity. I've always gone to like whatever powwow trails that are coming through, and I love going to gatherings of nations. It's just a really great space to feel cultural pride and just to know that we are still here.
Yat educated shidana she ate new client chat on and shle mariskizing bus chin kasher dash chat to national. Hello, I'm Tennille Claw. I'm public relations for ISO. And my connection, my major is in psychology. And my connect. And my connection to POW is just I'm a spectator, and also this year I'm an organizer, and my tribal affiliation is Navajo. Thank you, Marlena.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, all three of you. I appreciate that. So one of question that we wanted, we kind of like all got together. Talia put some questions together, and then our students here were the ones that kind of chose what they would like to speak about. And one of the questions is, how does participating in or attending the powwow help you stay connected to your culture while balancing school responsibilities?
Yeah, so obviously we are the hosts of our MCC Thunderbird Powwow, and being a part of the committee, I was newly elected as the vice president of ISO, so I am the vice president, yay! So yeah, this is my second year being involved with the powwow. Last year it was so surreal having a different group of people being involved and coming into our community and these native spaces and just showing their pride and what they know and their knowledge. And even this year, I think we're kind of in this space where it's like, oh, there are some people who know about powwow, there's some people who don't know about powwow, and just taking that experience and really putting on one. So everything you see in a powwow, someone had to put that together, like the staff, contacting them, being mindful about all the tribal nations that are going to be present, food, vendors, which we're figuring out shortly but slowly, and it'll get done. But all of these different factors of being in the powwow, it just makes it all worth it when you're there on the day. And it's just so emotional seeing something that you've worked so hard on being put through to fruition. Because it brings people together at the end of the day. Like, I'm Yavapai, so I come from Fort McDowell, and that's not really a big tribal nation. And I see that there are people out there like that who feel like that they're not seen or that they don't have any place to go other than home, which can be very far for some people, and they don't even have that connection. So coming together at this event, whether it's for a day or for the weekend or during the week even, stuff like powwow and stuff like gatherings and even like ceremony stuff like that. This means so much to us because we can't get that all that often. So having these art and crafts vendors who showcase their love for their traditional culture through arts, having that there is so important. Having people share their traditional foods, which you may not have tried before. I love blue corn mush. I love so good. I love going to the powwow and eating blue corn mush, eating fat bread, eating all the foods. It's so good. Just having native joy, native life, native community is so important, and that's why we love having powwow.
Yay. Okay. Can you repeat the question?
So how does participating or attending the powwow help you stay connected to your culture while also balancing school responsibilities?
So for me, this is my first time being on a powwow planning committee. I'm usually on the other side of just attending. So it's really interesting to see like all the work that goes through, all the deadlines, all the emails, and it's a great way to really appreciate what goes into having a powwow. And for me, it's really important that we work on collaboration and networking. So as ISO, the Intertribal Student Organization, we are not only working like within our club to like come up with these plans, but also organizing and collaborating with other clubs just because Mesa Community College is a community base. And what's so great about that is we're so diverse. And I'm so happy to bring people who are, don't have any powwow background into this wonderful space. And as a student, it really motivates me to make sure that I do my homework, I'm on top of my readings, I make sure that I don't fall behind because, I want to make sure that I allocate and uh, time manage my time to make sure that because I'm a student first and I want to set a good example to the rest of the people and all the other students too.
As Marlena put it, it's a great way to work on networking and whatever she does. Marlena herself has brought me new skills just working alongside her. And as a spectator and just a person who's not really involved in powwow as much as I was this year, they've taught me so much. Just Cadence, Leoria, Talia, they've brought me this new sense of community. And also, it's nice seeing like a piece of home here so far away from home. And as a student, relating it back to my studies, as Marlena put it, it helps me make sure I'm on top of my homework. Because whenever I go to meetings, it's like, oh yeah, I did homework, and I'm like, oh, I have something overdue. So, so it really just helps put everything into perspective, and it helps you stay on track.
Another thing that I want to mention, like as ISO members, we are always at the American Indian Institute in the computer room. So like there's always like a group of us on the powwow committee doing our homework, doing our reading. So like it's really nice. Sometimes we'll ask each other like, do you know how to do this math problem? Or like, what do you think about this idea? So it's also a really great way for us to like build more community.
I love that she said that. I know, right? Give it up. That was a great, because that's one of the best. Every single day we have a group of students just taking over the computer lab, and they move desks around so that way it's more like, they can be around each other and they help each other. I always hear them say that. And then even after our meetings, they're like, okay, now where are you going to go study? Where are you going to go? And then they follow each other, and then they go study together. So they make sure they get their work. That's what I always tell, or I always say, I'm like, you're a student first. Like everything else comes after that. If you're not passing your classes, then I don't know, then I feel like I failed as an advisor. So, but honestly, they're so amazing, and I'm really glad that you pointed that out as well, because that's something that we've noticed as well. But we don't want to scare you guys off. Okay, so one more question. Why do you think it's important for institutions like MCC to continue supporting powwows and other cultural events?
Yeah, I think designating the Thunderbird Powwow as our third annual one, being a part of MCCs because we want our institutions, we want our higher education places to be supportive of Indigenous groups like this. So I feel like we've definitely felt that within the past couple years. Yeah, as the Intertribal Student Organization, we put on so many, we're so busy, just even in general events, just seeing that support for our Native students who have aspirations to do something like this in the future, whether it's like through their career, or whether it's having a powwow, or whether it's having these events. We want to show people that this is important. And our main goal, a part of ISO, is sharing our community, sharing our cultural beliefs, and even bringing people together. Like that, at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. And that's why we provide food, and that's why we invite everyone to come by. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your cousins, just bring whoever you want to. Exactly. So we just love seeing all the happy faces, but we want to continue that we create these native spaces, and we want to integrate Indigenous people into everything that we do, because it's so important not only that we have our little thing in the corner, but we also are in these spaces to not only just like give them our voice and let them know that we're still here, but know like all the diversity and that all the work that everyone puts into this. So I think just showing that effort is so important, and I think we do a good job at ISO at being perseverance, just showing perseverance like that. And I think it's very fun for them too, because they like to be involved and they like to keep this stuff going. So it's very important. Yeah.
So it's very important for MCC to make sure that we have these cultural events and these workshops because MCC is on the unceded territory of the Akma Atam people and Pipash. And so it's very important to recognize that as Native people, like we have always been here. And having these events where we get to, you know, be prideful, wear our regalia, speak our languages, sing our songs. It's very important that, you know, not to show like our community, but to show everyone here at MCC that we are still here and we have always been here. So, because our people, we've been through oppression, colonization, forced assimilation. So, every Native people here are here because our ancestors survived, and we are celebrating every day. And as Native people and Indigenous country or Indian country, you know, we are still thriving today.
I think as ISO and AI's motto, it's this is your home away from home. So seeing all these Indigenous workshops and seeing them bring that piece of home here to us is what's important to me really, because it's very easy to feel homesick here. And just going to AII, the computer lab, seeing Marlena, or seeing people and being able to make jokes and not being seen as the outsider, it's very great.
Thank you guys. Made me all emotional because I think, as Indigenous people here in an urban setting, I think we all kind of have that feeling. I know I do personally. I miss home all the time. And when I think about home, I get homesick. And home is, 6 hours away in New Mexico. So it's not that easy for me just to go home, for the weekend or anything like that. But thank you guys. I really appreciate all the words that you have shared with us. And I wanted to ask as well. It is 1:30, so I know the live stream is over. But did anybody else have any questions that you would like to ask any of our student panel here? Okay. Oh, yes.
Never used one of these before. Do you find any difficulty kind of finding community in both of those? Like, there's a lot of acceptance, and I'll ask that for everyone as well. If you find it difficult to find community when there's other places or going to meet with other tribes as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. It's definitely a battle, and I only feel like I should represent being in this role of representing yourself and like where you come from and your family. I think it's important to show all factors of where you come from and really like who you are and like what experiences you've lived through and what you may be how you experience life and what makes you different basically, just like always being unique and show people why you're unique. But I think I feel even like coming into the title in 2023, which is a pretty long time ago, I didn't feel like I needed to reflect who I was because I'm just me. But at the end of the day, I think it was important for me to reflect this like biracial background that my family comes from and like that my aunties and my uncles experience and my dad just because it's so weird because I think about the cultural background they come from and it's so like integrated and you don't see that too often. There's definitely a lot of hearsay and a lot of um, bias and just natives think a different way about where you may come from or who you are or what your background looks like. And I think my family's definitely experienced that feeling of alienation, like, oh, you're mixed, like, oh, you're native, and then oh, you're black. Oh my gosh, like what does that mean? Because you don't see that too often in native communities of being of different backgrounds like that. Even if you're from a different tribe, being two different tribes, it's like, oh, like you're not native to this specific tribe. It's definitely a lot of boundaries that you don't think about until you're in those spaces like that. And I think it's just important to reflect where my family comes from because you don't hear a lot of stuff like that of being, yeah, in these like biracial spaces and what that even means or what that looks like. And I've definitely seen my family struggle from that, and that's why I want to represent that. And I think it's just important to, in this cultural of being so modern and all of our newer native people, our urban natives, just showing the new path of this what can be and what our community needs to build to look like to be healthy, like these signs of not being ashamed of who you are and ashamed of what you come from and really just owning that, I think, is what inspires me to represent those sides and really where my family comes from and what they may experience and how I want to show that too. So thank you.
Okay, I just want to say that even though I'm not part of the Black community, I want to say that a lot of the history that America as a nation, America was built on the enslavement and oppression of Black people. And so, as Native people, like we kind of had like shared history of, going through a lot of hardships, a lot of heartbreak. And so, as for me, like as indigenous people, like we see that and we understand the hurt, the pain that went through it, and the fact that even today, like it's not talked about. We don't, they're not teaching this in schools. And so making sure that we have community. Well, with MCC, we celebrate diversity, and so we always want to make sure that we include everyone. You don't have to be native or indigenous to show up to our meetings or to any of our events. And we do like to collaborate and work very closely with our Black Student Union. They're a student-led organization, and making sure that we help with volunteering with their events, and they're always welcome to our events. And so it's very important for us to acknowledge and understand and be united together.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then with that, I appreciate you all for being our student speakers for today. I know we have a lot going on. And then I believe at this time we're going to have a song from a closing song from OJ. And then if you if you would like to make your way up, and then for those of you that are still able to stick around for a few more moments, you're more than welcome to participate as well. And I just want to thank you all for being here and being a part of our panel and having the strength and bravery to come up in front of a big audience and live audience as well. So, yeah, thank you. Hey. Then tobacco.
Okay, thank you guys for sticking around. We want you guys to hear a song before you leave, so we appreciate that. And I'm just gonna pass the mic too.
So again, like what Talia said, you guys are more than welcome to dance. Usually this dance is in a clockwise formation. So you guys are more than welcome to dance if you guys want to. Yeah. Yeah, 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 hey, ha, hi, 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 la, le, ho, hi, hey, lo, we, hey, ho, hi, hey, hey, we,